Bishop, and you are about to see my exclusive interview with CBC Olympics host Scott Russell. In the interview, we talked all about his journey, how we got to this point in his career, and what he thinks where he thinks the Olympics go from here in this COVID era. Stay tuned. How did you get from CBC Radio Charlottetown, growing up in Oshawa, to where you are now, like the face of the Olympics in Canada?
I'll tell you what, it's been a bit of a journey, hasn't it? I went to CBC after graduating from the University of Western Ontario, had a master's degree in journalism. When I went to CBC in Charlottetown, I originally covered the agricultural beat in Charlottetown for the local supper hour television show called Compass. And then what happened was Diana McDonald, who was one of the first female sportscasters in the country, was the sports anchor at CBC Charlottetown. And she left to go to TSN, and that opened up a spot at Charlottetown to be the sports anchor, which I readily went for. And I got that, covered everything from harness racing to local curling, to the lobster carnival. It was fantastic. And I went from there. And what happened was I got my first network assignment at CBC to cover the Canada Winter Games in 1987 in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. And I went there to cover alpine skiing and cross-country skiing. And the Canada Games was always sort of like the training ground for CBC Network Sports. And if you proved yourself there was a chance you might get on with the network. And so I had a great experience in Cape Breton. And soon after that, I moved to Montreal, became the weekend sports anchor there. And that's where I started covering Hockey Night in Canada. And I was there for 5 years and then got the job at the network full-time in 1992. Wow. And the rest is history.
That's crazy. So you've been working at CBC since before I was even alive. That's really cool.
Yeah.
What's kind of the differences between all those jobs and, being the in-studio host now? What would you say are the biggest challenges in terms of the adjustments, or the biggest differences that you noticed?
Well, being the sideline reporter at the CFL, rinkside reporter at Hockey Night in Canada, and I went on to host the Western shows on Hockey Night in Canada. It was a great proving ground to do the job that I'm doing now, which is the studio host of the Olympic Games. And the reason for that is being on site at the field of play is a huge learning experience, and to have contact with the players and all of the athletes who compete for Canada, because I covered world championships as well, and I was at Lake Louise and called the alpine skiing there. Being on site for a big athletic event, whether it's professional or high performance, amateur, is a great learning experience, because you find out how to relate to the athletes, and you actually get the story and the lay of the land by being there. And so you can translate that when you become a studio host. You actually have credibility because you've been in the field and know what happens close to the field of play. It was a tremendous experience.
More from Scott coming up in a minute. We're going to take a quick break, though. There'll be more when you come back.
Hello, I'm Sean McNeill, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNeill in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, We have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
The Olympics is like your baby, and that's what everyone knows you as. So what is it about the Olympics that you love so much more than these other events? Or maybe you love the other events just as much, I don't know. But what is it about the Olympics that you're so passionate about?
Well, I think the thing is the Olympics are much more than a sporting event. These other events are really based around performance and sport. So whether it be NHL hockey and the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's a sporting event. Same with the Grey Cup, the CFL, or the World Championships of whatever sport you want to talk about. The Olympics is tied to something which is called the Olympic movement. There are a set of values attached to it. There's an Olympic ideal, which is to bring the world together in a time of peace to demonstrate what is humanly possible. And the Olympics are open to people of every race, faith, gender, orientation, and circumstance from every geographical region of the world. So the Olympics are a much bigger thing. They're a much more ambitious enterprise. And, I first sort of fell in love with the Olympics when I went to summer camp in Ontario, in Halliburton. And every summer we had the mini Olympics, where, the baseball diamond was all decorated with bunting, and torch-bearing runners arrived by the war canoe at the beach and lit the cauldron, which was atop the baseball diamond. And the entire camp was divided into country teams. We built embassies, and there was an opening and closing ceremony. And, it's a real, it is a spectacle. Mm-hmm. That's what I love about the Olympics. It's a spectacle. It's the greatest recurring spectacle on the face of the earth. Mm-hmm. And there is no event on the earth that is as ambitious as the Olympics and aspires to be all things to all people. And I love it because it's much more than a sporting event. It's an event which is about humanity.
The camp I went to in Muskoka did something similar. It was just with two teams, but it was like lumbermen and voyageurs. It was a similar idea. Yeah, it was really fun. We had like cheers. We had opening campfire, closing campfire. We had leaders as well. Yeah, it was really, really fun.
Yeah, well, I went to a camp called Kilkoo Camp in Halliburton, and the Olympics had been going on at Kilkoo since 1932.
Oh, wow.
And they divided the camp into 5 teams, and it was England and Canada and the United States and Russia, and before that it was South Africa and New Zealand. It was pretty cool, and to hear our director say those famous words of de Coubertin when he said the Olympics are more than about victory; they're about the struggle and the taking part. It was hugely important as I kind of evolved into what I've become today as the Olympic host.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the RP Show pre-show. Once again, I'm Rachel Bishop. Stay tuned. Main events coming up next.
Now, Ebbs, you have not stopped smiling since you came on here. So I got to ask you something. This trade to New York, how has it been for you? From just watching out here, and we don't get you as much as we'd like the games, but has it kind of recharged you?
Yeah. I mean, it's fun playing meaningful games.
How about that?
I think this is one of the tighter knit groups that I've been a part of since I've started playing hockey. So it's been a lot of fun.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
How about that? Good call, boys. Jordan Eberle bringing us into a brand new week.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Feeling recharged?
100%. 100% over here. Welcome to the RP Show, everybody, for a brand new week, a short week. I never wrote down what episode number it is today because I didn't know. I've been gone for a week. How good are your eyes? Can you?
491.
I was just testing you. Writing it down on my sheet here. Yeah, it's episode number 491 of Canada's daytime sports talk show. And yeah, I know we look like a couple of butt kissers wearing our Winnipeg Jets gear today, but so what? We're going to explain that in moments here to open up the show. It's a great day already, and we're just barely into the show.
Yeah.
Well, coming up on the program today, Ryan Leslie from Sportsnet Flames and Andy McNeill from VSiN in Las Vegas. And we talk about when we get together after a weekend, we're like a family of squirrels on meth. I forgot to ask Clark, what's Andy McNeill famous for? He's the digital gambler of NHL betting odds. I didn't even know that.
You do now.
So I do now. So we'll get some questions figured out for Andy McNeill coming up in hour 2. And the sports doctor is going to be with us as well. A late ad out of Winnipeg, the sports doctor. So you know what we're going to talk about. But I have to say this. We're going to get to the leftovers and everything in a moment. But Winnipeg's been very, very nice to us. Hence the gear. And my inbox was filled up all weekend from my DMs, my email, comments to our website, rodpedersen.com, from Jets fans. And I'll give you a little snippet. A nurse from one of the hospitals said, Rod, just read your newsletter, which it's not really a newsletter, the Monday Morning Goalie. But she said, I didn't even know you were a Jets fan. And I'm like, not quite. I like them now.
Yeah.
But I was neutral forever. But, Edmonton seems to be just a little clicky to us, right? In Calgary, forget about it. For now, forget about it. But Winnipeg, my friends in Winnipeg, and I had a lot of Jets fans DMing me yesterday, Rods, what's going to happen tonight? I said, I think the series is going to end tonight. And they said, well, you're always right. So I'm like, you're from Winnipeg, right? But as my friends in Winnipeg said, and even people that I don't really know in Winnipeg, they said, we don't care where you're from. Show us some respect. Talk about what we care about. And we're all good. And here we are.
Yeah.
And the Jets are rolling into round 2 of the playoffs. Now, the other thing that had me excited is, came in here today and there's gifts. Gifts galore. I don't really know where to start. But I can tell you what. You junior hockey teams that want to send me golf shirts, the way to my heart is not through my stomach.
Right.
It's to send me hockey team golf shirts. So from the Spruce Grove Saints and the Stony Plain Eagles of the Alberta Junior Hockey League, both sending me extra large, which is my size, and a letter here from JJ Hebert, the vice president of Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment. They own 5 teams. I won't go through all this. It just says, thank you, Rod, for your continued efforts highlighting and discussing all things junior hockey on your show. It's great to see such a high-profile show use airtime to talk about the teams and leagues where the game's emerging stars come from. Our group enjoys tuning into your show regularly. Says he noticed we wear Dub swag, so they wanted to send us some AJ swag. And he says, and while we have you, the next time you hear a rumor about the Spruce Grove Saints, don't be afraid to reach out to us directly. And we'd be happy to confirm nor deny your reports. So from JJ, how about that? From JJ Hebert, Vice President of Business Development, Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment. And they also own the Seattle Thunderbirds. So that's cool. Guys, I'll be wearing this. You know that I will. Thank you. And then this, and I know people can't see it that are listening right now, but this from the XL Markcast boys down in Seattle. And it was not quite as eloquently typed out on letterhead. On a
sticky Post-it note.
On a Post-it note. From your friends at Just the Markcast now, Reed and Paul, the XFL Markcast. So I guess they're just the Markcast, not XFL. I don't know. It's got an X on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got a lot of stuff to wear here and adorn the bunker, and it's a great start to the week, and I'm happy to be back. Now, thank you, Jordan, for hanging on. Can we hit the quick 6 show topics, please? And while you do, let me dig out my Twitter feed here, my leftovers from Monday night in the National Hockey League, and don't tell anybody, but I went to bed after the first overtime last night. I'm like, I'm not here for this.
It was a lot. And so I started jumping on social a little bit just to have a little bit of an outlet because your blood pressure, I mean, I'm just a hockey fan. I'm not even a Jets or an Oiler fan, just a hockey fan. But my heart rate was at 125, 130 for like 90 minutes straight because every chance, and then it just got so slow and the scales got drugged down because they were tired. And
wasn't entertaining.
Not really, but yet you were still on the edge of your seat because you're a hockey guy. It's overtime.
Sure, but I wanted to go to bed. Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in and says, "You look good, Rod. The week away from the mic did you well." Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate this. This is not like I needed to step away for a break or anything, but I was in that recovery coach training, as you know, and I'm back here in Toyland where it's not life and death.
Right.
As much as it is to the sports people, it's not actually life and death. Nobody's going to die here today, but they might out in the other world. Anyways, these aren't your dad's Jets. And I said that months ago, and some people in Winnipeg got upset. And I'm like, you're not understanding me. My dad's Jets never beat the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs, ever. They didn't beat anybody in the playoffs. These aren't your dad's Jets. And they're not carrying on their back the weight of the franchise, which is actually the Thrashers franchise, but you know what I mean. It's an entirely new group of guys. It's like the Bombers that won the Grey Cup in 2019 weren't the same guys that had a 30-year drought. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is a new team. And we can get into this. We got the whole day to do this. Basically, where the Jets are going. But my second leftover is, where are the Oilers going? I had Oiler fans writing me today saying, what would you do, Rod, for this team? Because they are so upset. Obviously. Saw Rashog this morning on SportsCenter saying, losing's unacceptable. Getting swept is unthinkable. But a lot of Oiler fans today are telling me that they think Tip did a great job. And I've said Tip's top 3 NHL coaches, Joel Quenneville, Dave Tippett, and I had Babcock in there. Babs isn't even in the NHL anymore. So let's say top 2 coaches are, would you not agree? You're a big Quenneville fan.
I'm a Quenneville fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like what he's done in Florida. If he can just get some goaltending, which he got yesterday from Spencer Knight, who let his first shot in, by the way, and then stopped 36 in a row. But, yeah, I like Quenneville a lot. Dave Tippett, I don't know him like you know him, right? And haven't had the same experience. But sure, if you say he's up there, I believe it.
No, he is.
Yeah?
No, he is. Oh.
You know, like...
Are we getting into this
I would have got into Gerard Gallant, but he's no longer with Vegas. They let him go.
Oh, you would have?
Probably, with what he did with an expansion team. Peter DeBoer is obviously a good coach. He had tremendous success in San Jose, doing the same thing in Vegas. There's a lot of good coaches in the NHL.
From Darren Workman watching on YouTube. Welcome back, Rod. Missed you here in Salt Lake City. Hope you had a good vacation. Great merch from Reed and Paul. Yeah!
How about that?
Taking us in Salt Lake City. Where was I? Oilers. Are we getting into this? There's a culture problem there. And normally we say the fish rots at the head. In this case, I don't think that's the case. I think Mike Smith is a good enough goaltender. He and Tippett go back to the Phoenix days. We all know that. They went to the West Conference Finals in 2012. Nobody remembers that. But if you watch the Oilers games, understanding that most goalies are squirrely, most, 98%, right? Mm-hmm. Got to screw loose. He's one. And there was times where he would just gun his defenseman for a turnover or something, right, in games. And I'm like, listen, I'm sorry I'm so old school, but you're seeing in hockey there's a trend swinging back to old school, I think. And it's like, Mike Smith, your job's to do one thing. Stop the puck. That's it. We're not asking you to be a leader. We're not asking you to play the puck, although you incessantly seem to think that you need to. Just stop the puck, man. It's all you need to do. And we can't play the backup, clearly. So it's all on you. And then you saw the goals that were being let in last night, and Connor McDavid given the twice, once on the ice and another time on the bench. So you can tell he's frustrated. So that is a disjointed room. They're not a team. And that's just between two guys. But, like, we all played the game. And I gun defensemen too, believe me, but I'm not proud of it. It doesn't make them want to play for you.
Right.
Right? So that's some stuff that they need to get figured out. And with the guy that asked me this morning, what would you do if you were the Oilers? I said I would address the goaltending immediately. You've had 2 years with these two goalies. Enough's enough. Do whatever it takes to get Braden Holtby. That's it. He only signed a 1-year deal in Vancouver, did he not? I believe it is. Like, he should. He's got one more year. Well, then trade for him. I don't care because it's the most important position. I'm getting hung up on my Oilers Jets here, but and then we got another round to talk about the Winnipeg Jets. I think with this Oilers stuff, it needs to be addressed, and it brings up the poll question today, which let me find it here for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. We stole it from our dude Arash, who actually tweeted this morning. Who asks for a trade first, Connor McDavid or Carey Price? And we stole it. Thanks, Arash. And put that up as ours. And we added as the third option, neither. I actually voted for neither. What are they saying on Facebook?
53% say neither.
That's what's leading?
Only 3% say Carey Price. Obviously, Connor McDavid's really topical this morning. So 44% say McDavid. So it's kind of McDavid or neither. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah. 57% on Twitter saying neither. This is hilarious. Brady Leovold's watching from the Puck Support Network and talking about goalies being squirrely and a little out of it. He says 98% being squirrely is on the low side. I know, Brady, I was being charitable. I've told many of these guys, the largest demographic of the people that I work with in recovery coaching is goalies. That would surprise nobody. Right? Because what did I tell you? That whole story about me and Ed Belfour. I think it was Kelly Chase said to me, how come you guys got to be such good friends so fast? I said, because we speak the same language and you don't speak it. What else did I have?
You need coping mechanisms when your whole life is about going into this little cage where you're going to be target practice, right?
Oh, yeah.
I get it.
I remember, and I'll only say this, got to be careful. It was an American goalie that I was dealing with, and I, just on the recovery coaching side, because it is the Rod Pedersen Show, right? So I'll tell my stories. I was coaching him on certain things. Doesn't matter what it was. And went to watch. I was watching the game with his dad in a luxury suite, and they killed every light in the arena, like, choo, 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 choo. First game of the playoffs. Boom, spotlight on the tunnel. And I'm like, my guy's leading them out. I got butterflies, right? Like, and I remember calling my coach going, am I supposed to get this connected to my guys? He's like, you'd better. Right?
Wow.
And of course, the guy pretty much single-handedly won the series. But that's kind of what we do. It's goalies because we speak the same language. Anyways, Toronto, Montreal, a long ways from over. Sorry to say. Don't you get that sense?
I do. I get a feeling.
Montreal's put up more resistance than you thought.
Much more. Yeah. And they've kind of dictated how the series is going to be played. And that's a really good thing for Montreal. Now, Toronto can play that game and still win. You want to dictate it? Okay, we'll play your game and we'll still win. But Montreal's not in such a bad spot.
No, they're not. I see Chris Bird watching in Toronto. Says, in the other series, if Carey Price isn't playing like a rock star, the Habs would have lost 7-1 last night. I know, Chris, but if the Bear hadn't stopped to take a dump, he'd have caught the rabbit. Like, whatever. They have him on their team. That was the whole thing with Josh Harding with the Pats, right? If they didn't have him, they'd be terrible. But we do have him, so who cares? It's a 20-man unit. They upset Pittsburgh last year thanks to Carey Price. This is a different situation. This is a best-of-7, not a best-of-5, and you're playing the number one team in the division, but Carey Price could steal a series.
Well, that's the choice you make as a team. You decide how you're going to build this. So you're going to make, okay, we're going to invest more in goaltending, and we're going to be on our heels a little bit because we're spending less money up front. But that's why we got the goaltender.
It's nighttime in Florida. Look out, Spencer Knight. I see you got the rats out.
Oh, yeah.
From our boy Waz. Yeah, it's nighttime in Florida. That's turning into a series. And I hope the Vegas Golden Knights stick with the flower, which it wouldn't surprise me if they came back with Leonard in what'll be, game 6? It wouldn't shock me. I hope that they don't. This was just point 1 of the quick 6 show topics. Point 2, John Mechie wins the John Cornish Award for top Canadian in American college ball. Not a shock, right? I had a vote for that. Thanks, Mr. Mullen, for giving me a vote in that, and the guy I voted for won. Number 3, Julio Jones saga. We got to get into that. You were asking why I fleeted this morning that Aaron Rodgers, I'm swaying to the Aaron Rodgers side, and you asked why. Well, I was watching ESPN this morning, and they had a clip from him. He was on with Kenny Mayne last night, Aaron Rodgers, and he said that he wants out. There's no doubt. He didn't report to OTAs yesterday, and he goes, I was being treated like a number. And it hit me in the feels, because I know how that feels. I see where he's coming from now. He's the biggest part of what they're doing, and he wasn't consulted on what they're doing. Tom is! And for a month, I just wasn't listening to it, right? I'm like, get your paycheck, play. And Aaron's saying, no, I just don't want to be part of this because I don't feel valued here.
And certain guys can do that.
Yeah, not everybody.
Not everybody. Certain guys should be treated that way. And you have to understand when you're running an organization, where's the real value? And your value comes in, how easy can you be replaced? And so you can't expect the second string running back or, potentially a defensive tackle that's okay, or somebody else to be treated the same way, because you can be replaced a lot easier. There's a lot of guys who are very good, but there's not many guys that are Aaron Rodgers. And when you have that much value to the franchise and you make that much money for the franchise, you sell that many tickets and jerseys and everything else, you need to be treated as more than just a quarterback. And that's in any industry. And we hate it because it's not equal and fair. And I'm doing just as much work on a daily basis as you are, but you're more valuable, so you get treated differently. I get it. I'd feel bad, but you have to understand it's bigger than that.
I'm literally now going, good for him. And I understand now what my guys like Vernon Adams Jr., I get it. I'm swaying. He's winning the PR battle. Aaron Rodgers. From Trenton, Norway calling. I got to hear both radio calls of the Jets Oilers when I woke up here this morning. What a contrast from one call to another. It seems to be the Oilers' problem on how to play defense in the playoffs. It's not the Gretzky-Curry era anymore. Anyways, there's more thoughts on that, but we got to move on. Point 4, does anybody care about the World Hockey Championships? I do not. Point 5, the Blue Jays drop a marathon versus Tampa Bay. Tampa's the hottest team in the majors. Don't think that because the Blue Jays gave up a lot of runs and lost that series that they're in trouble. No, they're in trouble that they're in the same division. But overall, the Blue Jays are fine. And point 6, Phil Mickelson winning the U.S. Open, the PGA Championship on Sunday. Wasn't that awesome?
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm shocked that at 50, he's the oldest to ever win a major. I was saying that, watching that with Cindy. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I would have thought that Palmer or Nicklaus would have won older than 50. But I guess not.
And I'm watching it with Leanne, and she's looking at Phil. And what a boss. He's got the aviators on. He's matching head to toe.
Absolute boss.
And then as they come down 18, they got the ropes down the side of the fairways. But then as they walk out 18, they collapse it from the tee box, right? So they're all walking, and they just swarmed him. And they said they lost control of the crowd.
Oh,
so cool.
Jim Nantz, they've lost control of the crowd. They very quickly got control of the crowd. I'm sure they unbuckled their tasers. I know how that feels. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says he doesn't feel valued. I call that a classic prima donna. I know, Jeff, but we said that 5 weeks ago. You got to dig into the story. And I'm just saying I get him now. I felt the same way as you, but there's more to the story. We're going to Calgary next with our buddy Ryan Leslie. This has been the warm-up for our good friends at the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Open now. What are we at? 25% capacity. Come down and watch the Leafs in the Stanley Cup playoffs at the Four Seasons. We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Well, when I first started playing, the scholarship was so important to me. Like, I was working 2 jobs. I was working at a gas station, and I used to actually line the field for the team to get paid just to make some extra money.
I think for me, the opportunities that the scholarships provide is very important, or very specifically the stress it alleviates for myself.
The Rams give me the opportunity to buy everything that I need to get the best grades that I can, and that'll lead to me getting hopefully the best job that I can in the future.
There wasn't a scholarship opportunity with the Rams. I know that life would have been a lot more difficult for myself. I'm not too sure exactly how much longer I would have been able to play beyond my first year.
With the opportunity that they provided for me to go through school with the financial support and with the opportunity to continue to play football, now that I look back on it, was the most important thing in my life.
Capital GMC is your used car destination. We're overstocked and priced to move, so shop online or in-store to get the best deal on any one of our massive selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. Every certified vehicle includes the balance of manufacturer's warranty, 150 plus point inspection, roadside assistance, and certified exchange privilege. So save the depreciation and buy pre-owned. Capital GMC is your used car destination at the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is, and we're coast to coast in all 10 provinces and 31 states on the Game Plus TV network. And we're very pleased to bring in my good and longtime friend Ryan Leslie from Sportsnet Flames. And I think he's in Cowtown. Hey, Les, good to see you. Before you jump in, you notice I skimmed your text real fast this morning, and I apologize for that. You know, I said, send me some bullet points. You're like, I just did. But in your bullet points, did you say that you just turned off your RV? Have you been RVing? Are you Robin Williams? Like, what's your deal here?
No, TV. I was skimming over. I don't know about you, but I'm a little tired after watching that Winnipeg Edmonton tilt last night. So, yeah, I don't know what I was typing to. I hope it made some sense, and looking forward to being with you here today.
You did type RV. So you're like, I just turned the RV off. I'll screenshot it and send it to you. I'm like, have you been roaming the Rockies in your RV? Is that why you didn't want to talk about certain things because you didn't have good TV reception in your mobile home?
No, I'm just, when the season's over and you work so many, it's been a weird year, Roddy. And I did go back and type TV, so stay with me here. But it's been such a weird, I think it was Dave Hodge who said, never has a shortened season felt so long. And I just thought that nailed it. This was a bizarre year on a lot of fronts. And certainly we're all happy and thrilled that the game is back. And certainly we're seeing some real traction with fans in certain buildings, and it's going to be a real exciting time. But when the season's immediately done, I love the first round, like I think everybody does. But I kind of pick and choose because I'm a little frazzled after a weird one.
Sure. I'm picking and choosing two of my series, and that's what we'll get into. I just want to say good morning to a few people. Mike Horrigan writes in from the 905. Welcome back, RP. And then a balloon emoji. Is that our new logo? I like it. So wherever you're watching in from, send it in.
905, the greater Hamilton area. Little history there myself, so that's great.
What is the area code of your hometown, Owen Sound, Ontario? Is it 905?
No, I was born in Owen Sound, grew up in Port Dover, and went back to finish up high school in Owen Sound and then college in Hamilton. So I've been a 519er my whole life, Roddy. Owen Sound and Port Dover represent 519. Is that what the kids do? The 6? No, I'm in the 9.
I think you just put out a gang signal is what I think you did. Les, you called the Jets to win. Now, I thought that they would not just slide right out, but I didn't think they'd win the series. You did. So what's the deal there? How did you see this coming?
Roddy, I think a lot of people were quick to look at the flaws of the Jets when they hit some skids. I just felt they were too deep down the middle, and I felt they had a good goaltender. And you talk to anybody, as you have, and as you know, over the years, they'll tell you, you got to build through the middle, you got to have a good goalie, and you better have some guys on that blue line. Now, I know Winnipeg's blue line doesn't get a lot of credit, but I sort of feel they're better than maybe we think. And I hope that they get some recognition. I just think that team, I'm just so happy for Jets fans, Jets media, the Jets players themselves. That's just a team that when you look from afar, I really felt at various points this season that they were the best team in the North Division. I really do. Whether or not they get it together and whether or not it goes on this long run, it remains to be seen. But I think they've got so many good pieces that any team would dearly love to have. And I'm a big fan of their coach. And, he's one of those coaches, Roddy, for me, I think it's between Paul Maurice and John Cooper in Tampa. Whenever you're listening to whatever press conference or availability they're having, you either come away, you learn something, or you come away entertained. And for me, as an outsider looking in, what more could you ask for? I just think Paul Maurice is a fantastic coach, and I really hope that, because I know there's the knocks, he's got to get him over the hump. Don't get me wrong, I know that. But I just hope that for his sake and for that group's sake and for those good people in Manitoba who cover that team, I hope it's a long run for that group, because I just think they're a talented team with a lot of depth. And this North Division is a fascinating one. And, you never know who's going to make some noise. You got to get some help somewhere along the way in the first round, and a goalie's got to make a name for himself somewhere. So we'll see if it's this group's time now.
Yeah, well, as you pointed out, they're an easy group to cheer for, and I could see the whole country getting behind them soon. But, I mean, the Leafs are about split 50-50. Now, the thing, John Ohm in Winnipeg, he says, to shut down McDavid in the first 2 games in Edmonton, wowzers. Here's my thing on that, Ryan. I watch every game here in the Sweatpants capital. As you know, you're in our TV region, as are the Jets and Oilers. And you don't get into the hockey term speak. You're an old school guy, hockey guy. And so I had said that how they need to not let McDavid get wound up. And I see the announcement, go coast to coast. Limit his time and space. That's all. That's the new term of that. How did you think they did that to kind of keep McDavid in the barn for the most part?
I really liked it. But I think it's keeping he and Draisaitl in check is one thing. But I think it's also playing your game, too. So many times, so many teams, and rightly so. I'm certainly no coach and certainly no player, but they're so focused on trying to contain those two. Again, rightly so. That maybe I wonder if certain examples, moments, games, shifts, you're not worried about playing your own game. And I felt it was, at least from my dumb perspective, I felt they played their own game while still making him a priority. And it's a harmonious balance you don't see all the time. They're so focused that sometimes teams forget to play their own game. And I just thought Winnipeg did it. Boy, you look at that unbelievable comeback, and you just think about what that can do for a group. And kudos to Edmonton for coming out last night and making a game of it. But and it could have gone either way, certainly. But I just think the way Edmonton did keep them in check, I think Edmonton still executed their will. And full marks to them, because that series, although it was a sweep, it could have been a completely different looking series. they just stayed with it. And you wonder if you got to get over the hump. If we look back at this and go, that comeback was the ultimate difference. Certainly it was in this series. We'll see if it means anything going forward.
No doubt. Sprinkling in more good mornings from the Dr. Noble Irwin Regional Healthcare Foundation. Says, morning, boys. It was just over a week ago, Darren, that we were in Swift Current hosting the Black Tie Hockey Draft. And has anybody heard from Tiger Williams since? I have not. He was enjoying himself.
I heard he was down in Lethbridge, I think, over the weekend.
Oh, good. Good. Hadn't heard from him since.
Yeah,
I'm glad
I
he's
think
alive.
you're safe.
Hey, before we move on, do you even want to address the Oilers? Because I got Oilers fans writing me today saying, what would you do if you were the Oilers, if you were Ken Holland? And I would say I would address goaltending immediately. I think the culture problem remains there. But as the Flames guy, do you even care? Do you want to move on to other series, or do you want to touch that?
I will address that, but can I just go back to a quick Tiger Williams story if possible?
Absolutely,
Roddy?
Of course.
Years ago, he was in town, and I was doing a Western Hockey League game, Calgary and the Hitmen and somebody. And he was a guest of somebody, so he was up in the suites or whatever, and he came down to join me for a live in-game interview. And I had never met him, but obviously you know the stories, and so it was great. We're down by the glass ice level, and we're having a conversation, and we're just talking about what he's doing these days and maybe the old days. And all of a sudden a fight breaks out right in front of us. So the cameras pan to the fight, and he was fantastic. He talked us through the fight. He was charismatic. He was entertaining. He was hilarious. And then we kind of continue the conversation as the play resumes. We didn't skip a beat. Normally you never want to talk over the play. We're in mid-interview. He handled it flawlessly. We have a laugh. We have some moments, some great stories. I thank him. The camera shuts down, and I say, oh, thanks so much, Tiger. That was great. You want me to take you back up to the suite, kind of help you get to where you're going? He looks at me and goes, F off, and walks away.
Of course he did.
It was one of the best things ever. It was. I just thought, I'm in there with the man.
I walked in there, and to Swift, that bar, Darren was with me, and Tiger he looks at me. You know how he does. Oh, great. And I said, what? He goes, no, I got to drink my beer and yours. Which he did. That's why because he knows I don't drink anymore. And you know why. Hey, from David Smith, he says, finally, the Jets get credit from someone outside Winnipeg other than Rod. Well said, Ryan. That's from David Smith. I think he's Jets fan 66 on Twitter. You said you're picking and choosing series, as am I. I'm watching Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights against Minnesota. But you said you're really into the Florida-Tampa series. What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, I think a lot of people are, and rightly so. If you can, in your schedule, find that game to watch, I think you've been thoroughly entertained. And from a, Western Canada, or specifically Calgary perspective, there's some good stories there. Mason Marchment was invited to camp a few years ago. I guess if you're a Flames fan, you're kind of ticked off because you're seeing some guys who could have been in the system a little longer make some noise, but you watch them. And when your team isn't in it, you kind of keep an eye on it. So Mason Marchment was invited to camp a few years ago. He scores the overtime winner. You mentioned Spencer Knight, I think, before I joined you. That was such a cool story. Lets the first one in and then stops. I believe it was 36 after. So what a great little coaching gut feeling to put him in and have it work out. And you're obviously thrilled for him. But there's two guys, and it's not going to surprise anybody, and Sam Bennett and Ryan Lomberg, who is just one of those players. And I don't know how many folks watching have really tuned into the name Ryan Lomberg. He is just 5'9" ball of hate, and just a lovable guy who would do anything for his teammates. He's one of those guys who, and I've watched him kind of come up, and he was in the Penticton Young Stars tournament with all the Western Canadian teams, young guys playing against one another. I watched him in the American League, and certainly was just waiting for the opportunity to see him at the pro level. And he will punch anybody. He will go to the wall for his teammates. So I just love seeing what he's doing. And Sam Bennett, who I've been around since he was drafted that day in Philadelphia, and obviously it didn't work well enough for him in Calgary, but a high draft pick who's just got a new lease. And isn't that important? I think we all sometimes need a new surrounding. And I had this chat with Peter Labardius just last night, actually. Yeah. And he and I were just talking about Sammy, watching the games for a few moments together. And it's just great to see Sam, making a name for himself again. And certainly he's got some guys to play with and a new lease on life. And I'm just thrilled to see it. So that's been an entertaining one. And, you know, I spoke with John Cooper, I don't know, maybe a week and a half, just prior to the playoffs starting. And, you know, he knew he was going to get his big guns back, didn't know at what level they would be at. You know what he said to me, Rod? He said, we're not a better team than we were last year, but we're a more mature team. We know how to win. It's just a matter of can we do it with various variables like injuries and whether or not we're going to be good enough. But I just thought that was interesting where he said we're a more mature team because they had some key departures, didn't they? Like key departures.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And they didn't have like the Kucherovs for the entire season. So that is one that I think is just wildly intriguing when you go outside the North Division.
Bogosian, Coburn, and they're still rolling. Hey, we got 75 seconds. How would Peter Lobardia say that? Sometimes you need a change of scenery. How would he say it?
Yeah, sometimes you just need a new surrounding, 4 new walls. And I'll say this, that usually ends up being good people. Yeah.
How about that?
How about that? Ryan, you're a gem. Enjoy the RV. Drive safe.
That?
How about that? Let's do it again soon, my friend.
I need an RV. Yeah, I don't know. Have you got any connections in the RV world, Roddy? That'd be a fun way to cruise out and see you.
Let's talk. I know a few people out there in your neck of the woods on that. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having me, guys.
The great Ryan Leslie from Sportsnet Flames. When we come back, a sports update, viewer takeover, if the phone's charged enough. We're back from holidays, and we're rolling. Episode 491 of Canada's daytime sports talk show continues after this break on Game Plus TV and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take a leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Stars, you're dispatched to a scene call. The patient has multiple traumatic injuries and is unconscious but breathing.
This is why I back the Stars lottery.
Stars, we can accept the mission.
This is why I'm all in.
Mission accepted. Have a safe flight.
The prizes are great. The cause is critical.
Stars Lottery, the lottery on a mission. Every ticket is your chance to win over $4.2 million in prizes. Buy yours at starslottery.ca or 1-844-STARS-SK.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Got a lot of good vibes coming in here today from Joe Hamilton, watching in St. Louis. He says, great seeing you again, Rod. Had dupes on Crunch Time last week. That was fun. You told me about that with Joe.
It was fun.
Very talented guy down there in St. Louis, Joe Hamilton. My guy, Jack Fulton, watching in Alberta, is proud of you, Rod, taking time off the show to not holiday, but to gain ability and understanding that will save lives. Love you, brother. Love you too, Jack. Yeah, I was in Recovery Coach Academy last week out of Hartford, Connecticut. And it was rigorous. It was intense. Some people didn't finish. It was a boot camp. I'm not going to get into what it was, but I come back here, and I'm feeling good in here. As you can all see in my heart. Sports update. The Winnipeg Jets have defeated the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. Kyle Connor scored in triple overtime to give Winnipeg a 4-3 win over the Oilers, a series sweep, and a ticket to round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Leafs coach Sheldon Keefe says goalie Jack Campbell was his best player Monday night as Toronto edged Montreal 2-1. The Target stopped 28 shots and has allowed just 4 goals through the first 3 games of the North Division playoff series, which Toronto now leads 2-1. They're going again tonight, right?
That's right. Back to back.
Josh Bailey scored 51 seconds into the second overtime to give the Islanders a big win over the Penguins. The goal gave New York a 3-2 victory and a 3-2 series lead. I saw Joe Lazito was watching in New York, and he wrote in earlier and said, don't sleep on the Islanders. How long I've been saying they're my dark horse?
A while.
I got a Vegas Islanders Stanley Cup final. Anything more on that?
No, you got the Islanders as the dark horse, and I've had Florida.
There you go.
A while, right?
A rookie goaltender has helped the Florida Panthers stave off elimination. Spencer Knight stopped 36 shots, and Florida beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-1 in Game 5 of their Central Division playoff matchup. The Lightning still lead the best-of-7 series 3-2. I managed to stave off working out all of last week.
How about that?
How about that? It was far I didn't have time.
Yeah.
I was up, bang, bang, into the academy. Francesco Majaya hit a tie-breaking 2-run single during a 7-run burst in the 11th inning, and the Tampa Bay Rays won their 11th straight game, outlasting the Blue Jays 14-8 on Monday. Tampa moved within 1 win of the team record for consecutive victories. It was back in 2004. They won 12 in a row under Sweet Lou Piniella. Jays got the Yankees today in the Bronx. This sports update for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, and for Red Bull Canada. Red Bull gives you wings. Where are we going from here, caller?
I know, right?
As Lynch would say.
There is like 7 different roads we could go down. It's a matter of which one you want to choose first.
Sure. Well, I can't believe how many people are so interested in this coaching academy I was in. Michael Alley's watching in Los Angeles, California. He says, thank you, Rod, for talking about your program and service, one day at a time. It's the only way to go. You still wearing that bracelet, or did you give it away? You got it?
Yeah.
It said right here, one day at a time. It says right on here. Mike Horgan in the 905 says, Carolina Nashville's been relatively entertaining. I haven't watched a shift. Have you?
I've watched a shift. That's about it for Carolina Nashville. It just hasn't been one of my series that I've watched. It really hasn't, unfortunately.
And that's fine.
Because they've never had the stage to... I feel like they haven't had the stage to themselves. They've always been up against Leafs Habs, or they've been up against Florida Tampa, or another series, Vegas and Minnesota. And so it's always been the game you're getting highlights on while you're watching another series, for me.
Yeah. I'm still figuring this all out. What did Leslie say? This is the longest shortened season?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was?
The shortest, the longest season. It just feels so long.
I haven't quite figured this out yet, so I bought my NHL center ice for the first time ever, and I will have it for the rest of my life. But now I'm like, do we need to rebuy it for the playoffs? Because not every game is on. And I'm sitting there going, damn it, this is Canada. How do we not have every hockey game on basic cable right now? But we don't.
We don't.
I'm willing to pay the extra money for NHL Center Ice to watch Nashville, Carolina. Where do I find this?
I know.
I'm still figuring it out. Now, there are two series that I'm the most interested in. Winnipeg, Edmonton, obviously, because we're in the Bermuda Triangle. Right between those two markets. I knew that we had to watch it, and I was interested in it.
Right.
And then Vegas, Minnesota. I've been watching two. I was watching Leafs Habs last night going, why am I watching this? I dislike every player on the ice except for Carey Price and Brendan Gallagher. I think I was just falling in love with the jerseys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the
It's
history.
Montreal, Toronto, and the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's why I'm watching, but I really don't care who wins this series. And I've watched some Tampa. I watched some Tampa, Washington, or Tampa, Florida, too. Hey, I'm going to read. He says I got just over a minute. I think I can cram this in. It was Darren's idea yesterday in our strategic planning session to start an NFL report. What do you say?
I'm in.
Here we go. NFL report sponsored by blank. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers wasn't present for the first day of the organized team activities Monday, and his future with the team remains uncertain. Rodgers confirmed in an ESPN interview that he wasn't at Monday's session. Although these OTAs are voluntary, Rodgers generally has participated in them in the past. Meanwhile, wide receiver Julio Jones says he's ready to leave the Atlanta Falcons. The 32-year-old star told Fox Sports 1's Undisputed host Shannon Sharp via telephone that, I'm out of there. In a brief interview, Falcons general manager Terry Fontenot has been reportedly entertaining trade offers for Jones since last month. It was unclear if Julio Jones knew he was on live television. So let's talk about that when we come back.
Yes.
In Viewer Takeover. That's next, okay? And that's the NFL report. We just threw it out there. And now it's a thing.
Now it's a thing.
You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Capital Ford Lincoln is your used car destination. We're overstocked and priced to move, so shop online or in-store to get the best deal on any one of our massive selection of pre-owned vehicles. Every pre-owned vehicle at Capital Ford must pass a thorough inspection, ensuring that your buying experience is quick, easy, worry-free, and just like new. So save the depreciation and buy pre-owned. Capital Ford Lincoln is your used car destination. 1201 Pasqua Street North in Regina. Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Hey, everybody. I just got to mention this before we jump into viewer takeover. The University of Regina Rams 50-50 total is at $12,500 with just under a month to go. The University of Regina Rams Football Club continues to be self-funded through fundraising efforts and sponsorship, honoring all 2021 scholarships to 95 student athletes and equipping them with new equipment year over year. Visit ReginaRams5050.com for more information and to purchase your tickets today. Again, the pot is over $12,500. They are self-funded football program. So if you're a football fan, you got some money in the bank, would you please go buy your 50-50 tickets like we've all done and support the Rams. So our cell phone's dead. It's been 3 days since we were in here, right? It's all good, but we're not going to use the Prairie Mobile text line till next hour when there's enough of a charge on it. But you can write us now, 306-840-8777. Prairie Mobile is your authorized SaskTel mobility dealer. But the point of the matter is we want your take, because this is no contrived face-off here right now. Let me say it again. This is no contrived face-off right now. Oh, I know. I'm throwing a lot at you, Jordan. It's all good. He thinks that Julio Jones knew that he was on Fox Sports 1 when he said to Shannon Sharpe that he wants out of Atlanta. I don't. I watched the clip. Producer Clark agrees with me. When he had him on speakerphone, and he called Shannon Sharpe, called Julio Jones, asked his future, and he goes, I want out of there. And then Sharpe said, what about Dallas? He's like, no, I want to win. And I've hosted sports talk shows for 10 years at the old place, over 2 years here now. I've got thousands of hours of sports talk. I can count on, I don't even need 5 fingers to tell you how many times I've called a guy, put him on speakerphone, and put him on the air. But in those times that I did, I said, hey, Darren, I got you on speakerphone. You're on the air right now. Only because I didn't want him to swear. Right? Because most of my friends would. Shannon Sharpe didn't say that.
No.
He didn't say, hey, Julio, you're on the air right now. Man, what's going on with you in Atlanta? I don't think he knew he was on the air. And a lot of people don't think he was on, thought he was on the air. And Clark agrees with me, but you do.
Yeah, no, I think there's no way that Julio Jones wasn't made aware that he was on the air. I think, it's funny when he says those comments, though, what he says is the only thing that makes me think that maybe he didn't know. Because maybe if you know you're on the air, sometimes you do, player speak, right? But there's no way that that Shannon Sharpe didn't tell Julio in a text saying, I'm going to call you, bro. I'm going to put this on the air. You cool?
How could you say there's no way?
Because it's Fox. And Shannon Sharpe, I really believe Shannon Sharpe wouldn't have a job today. And it's that big of a deal, because if he comes on and does this, Fox has broadcast rights, billion-dollar broadcast rights. They broadcast the Super Bowl. Right? They're part of that conglomerate, renegotiating deals. They wouldn't want a single thing that could come back to the boardroom to say, Fox, we don't like the way you're playing right now in the sandbox and doing this, letting your guy do this. you're not going to get the Super Bowl now. We're going to, discipline you. I think that it would be a non-starter.
Well, we're never going to find out now the answer to that. But from our viewers, from Jeff, the Stamps fan, he says Julio is a veteran of TV appearances. He knew exactly what he was doing. He's also a veteran of phone calls. He just thought it was a phone call from Shannon Sharp. From Rachel, our intern, Shannon Sharp said he was live on TV at the end. Yeah, at the end. He didn't say it at the start. I could very easily see how this could happen, and why I don't think he's going to lose his job is because Julio's sitting there going, it's the truth. Yeah. He's like, I want out anyway, so I guess if this is how it gets out, this is how it gets out. I don't think it was contrived at all. The Face-Off is brought to you by the Mad Greek, where I was on Friday night. They're available for licensed dining, takeout, or delivery. Head to themadgreekeatery.com for more information. And for the ultimate fan zone, it is your one-stop shop for the sports fans on your list. Visit the Man Cave downtown Moose Jaw or on Facebook. And their website's up and running now. Full disclosure, I had a lot of buddies writing me on the weekend going, where can I get Golden Knights gear? Where do you get your stuff? And I said, you can get everything at the Ultimate Fan Zone in Moose Jaw. Dude said to me, Tim is his name. He goes, do they have Kansas City Chiefs stuff? Yes, they do. And Bob's your uncle. They have everything there at the Ultimate Fan Zone. It's what Jersey City used to be, but way better than that. Yeah. You've been there. It's got everything you need. So now you're picking a team in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Maybe yours is out. You can get it at the Ultimate Fan Zone. Next hour, we got the sports doctor with us and Andy McNeill from VSiN in Las Vegas on NHL odds. Thanks to Ryan Leslie here in Hour 1. Stick around after this break. It's the RP Show here on Game Plus TV.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Stars, you are dispatched to a scene call. The patient has multiple traumatic injuries and is unconscious but breathing.
This is why I backed the Stars lottery.
Stars, we can accept admission.
This is why I'm all in.
Finish accepted. Have a safe flight.
The prizes are great. The cause is critical.
Stars Lottery, the lottery on a mission. Get your early bird tickets by June 24th for a chance to win a truck, trailer, toys, and cash. Buy yours at starslottery.ca or 1-844-STARS-SK.
Capital Ford Lincoln is Truck Nation. Looking to buy your next truck or sell your current one? Capital is Canada's truck destination. Shop online or in-store to see the new 2021 Ford F-150, Ranger, Escape, and more. Right now is the best time to lease or finance a new vehicle. Can't find exactly what you're looking for? Let us help by sourcing your vehicle from our dealer network or custom ordering one that is perfect for you. Capital Ford Lincoln is Truck Nation, 1201 Pasqua Street North in Regina.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Now,
Ebs, you have not stopped smiling since you came on here, so I got to ask you something. This trade to New York, how has it been for you? From just watching out here, and we don't get you as much as we'd like the games, but has it kind of recharged you?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun playing meaningful games.
How about that?
I think this is one of the tighter knit groups that I've been a part of since I started playing hockey. So it's been a lot of fun.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. Welcome to this second half kickoff, everybody. Always nice to have Jordan Eberle bring you into an hour. And our good friend Eb sniped last night for the Islanders and their victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins. Here's Moose. You can go on the two-shot, guys. This is not CNN here.
I got to fire.
Is it working? The Prairie Mobile text line was dead coming back after the long weekend, and we put a little charge on it for the last 40 minutes. You can now reach us at 306-840-8777. I'm getting shamed by a lot of folks. Why does it smell like cucumbers?
What?
Do you have cucumber aftershave on?
I don't.
'Cause I don't like cucumbers. Just so
you don't?
So I just got a whiff of cucumber. Am I having a heart attack?
Are you having a stroke?
It's Clark.
You smell burnt toast?
Clark smells like cucumbers. Can you wait till after to have lunch? Anyways, they're shaming us about wearing our Jets gear today, and I'm not going to go back an hour ago where I just said Winnipeg has been very nice to us. My inbox has been jammed all weekend with Jets fans saying thanks for writing about us, thanks for talking about us, and it's happening. You know, they said we don't care where you're from. You talk about us, respect us, we're good. Very easy team to cheer for. Now, though, people are talking about Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights, and how that is my team. And what we were saying, you can get it at the Ultimate Fan Zone. They got everything there for Vegas and every NHL team. And somebody said Rod gets his Vegas gear from Kelly. He means McCrimmon. Some of it. It's nice when you get taken into the merchandise store and they just go, pick whatever you want. So I've had that happen a few times in team merchandise stores. You feel like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. The second time, not the first time when she got kicked out. Jack in Alberta says, Vegas Knights are showing every star franchise how it's done. Yeah, so far. They didn't last night. We really got people going here on the Julio Jones stuff.
Yeah, we really did.
Didn't we? Again, if you just tuned in, last hour we were discussing Shannon Sharpe of Fox Sports 1 in the States, calling up Julio Jones, the Falcon star receiver, and just kind of saying, where you at? And he says, I want out of here in Atlanta. And I don't think he knew he was on TV. And I'm shocked that you think that he did, because you've done enough shows that you would know. I'm shocked that we don't agree on this, because we normally agree on everything.
I know, but it's me putting the business hat on, and, you know.
But they're not businessmen. They're football players.
No, but you're not going to. It's Fox, and they have NFL broadcast rights, and they're on the rotation for the Super Bowl. They have a large role. They've got corporate responsibility. I don't think that Shannon Sharpe, I think he's smart enough to be like, he's not going to be like, okay, I'm going to go rogue, and I'm going to call him on my phone. Don't tell anybody. I'm going to call him, and we're going to see what's happening. We're going to drop a stink bomb here, and Fox is maybe going to get in a lot of trouble. Maybe he wasn't thinking about that. Maybe he just thought it'd be funny. Let's put Julio on the air, right, and trick him. But I think Shannon Sharpe values his relationships. I don't think he would throw a guy under the bus like that.
I think Shannon Sharpe's a baller. I've known a million guys like that. I don't know him. And I just thought it was two bros calling each other, and he put him on the air and he didn't know he was on the air. Look at what he said. Would he have said that if he'd known he was on the air? I don't think so.
That's the one question mark for me, is I don't know that necessarily he would have answered questions like that.
Few people, Joe, writing from Merrick, Long Island, from the 516 on the Prairie Mobile text line says, welcome back, Rod. Dupes and the crew were excellent as usual. Frenzy is still a legend. Let's go, Islanders. And go, Jets, go. Joe from Merrick, Long Island, mere miles from Nassau Coliseum. Stephen in North Dakota says, glad you did the training, Rod. Wish society didn't need it. But if Candy was ... Yes. Recovery Coach Academy. Why are people so interested in this? It's nice, but most people don't care about the recovery world. You and I have talked about this. It's not glamorous. It's kind of the toilet of industry. You know what I mean? Like you're dealing with people at the bottom of their lives. Why are people so interested in this?
I think they're interested in you. I think that's the big part. And I
that's
think
nice of them.
Very interesting to see that, you've got the other side, right? It's Superman and Clark Kent. You got two lives going on, right?
Thank you for that.
I think the Superman, though, is the recovery stuff.
So do I.
That's the cape, right?
Absolutely. So do I. But you spend 10 hours in training doing that, and you're just like, at the end of the day, it's draining. This is not clearly. Okay, let's go to Winnipeg now. My good and longtime friend, David Patriquin, the sports doctor. He had a little thing cooked up with Clark. Clark was telling me, if the Jets had won, he's coming on today. If they hadn't, you weren't, Dave. So here we are. Did you stay up for all of that last night, the triple overtime madness?
100%. I watched that. I had to record my sports report for the Iqaluit station, CKIQ, and I had to file my story for the Manitoba Post. So I was up to about 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday.
Yeah, but a great way to be up, man. Like, take me through what Winnipeg's feeling right now. They're off to round 2.
Well, first of all, I have to say that I was truly sorry that I predicted that the Oilers were going to take this series in 5 games. I'm very, very sorry for writing that I thought that Paul Maurice should have been traded for John Tortorella at the trade deadline day. I'm very sorry for the nasty things about Kevin Cheveldayoff, saying that he had drafting day off and he had trade deadline day off. That's part of his contract. I'm sorry. The Jets' home record was partly responsible for the guys just sitting at home and Wise watching The View, and the guys couldn't focus on that. I'm sorry for all that. We just have to get that out of the way. But Winnipeg is feeling tremendous right now. There was like a car parade. You know how little kids having their birthday parties and the neighbors all arrange and they all go by and beep their horns, making the kid, because of COVID, feel very good because he couldn't have friends over for a birthday party. Well, the Jets fans did that yesterday around Bell MTS Place with their cars and stuff. And I do think when the game ended well after 1 o'clock in the morning, I do think that there wasn't a lot of guys out there beeping the horns, driving their cars around with flags at that time last night. But the city was on fire. It's just a tremendous feeling. The only thing that's disappointing is we aren't able to gather en masse around the arena, around the rink, and celebrate like we're supposed to. But it was a tremendous series. The Jets, I thought, played rope-a-dope with the regular season with the Edmonton Oilers, losing 7 games against those guys and really not even being very from the minute the puck dropped in Edmonton last week till yesterday night, or this morning, actually. It was total domination.
Yeah, and by the way, to our viewers, I'll get to your questions. 1 million have come in about the Stanley Cup playoffs. But, David, you never did jump off the Jets bandwagon, but a lot did, and I'm just wondering how many feel sheepish now. The media was pretty good, I think, but, I mean, people wanted Pomo fired, right? And they were regretting the Line-A trade, and Hellebuck's not that good. Like, are they eating their words, or have they even forgotten that they even said that?
Yeah, from what I understand, that the Home Depot is out of tar and Michael's is out of feathers. It was that bad during that last 12 games of the season when the Jets just did not look like a playoff team. All the criticism. We see now why Connor Hellebuck earned the Vezina Trophy last year. He was just absolutely lights out. There's so many games during the regular season where you just looked at a goal that he let in and go, what's the deal with this guy? But you can't say any of the goals that the Edmonton Oilers scored on Connor Hellebuck were what you would call weak goals, or he was out of position or not paying attention or something like that. He was absolutely lights out. The Jets, I criticized Paul Maurice for for actually tinkering with the lineup. After you won game 1 in Edmonton, why tinker? He put in Pierre-Luc Dubois. And then in game 3, he put in Nikolai Ehlers. Like, things were working why are we tinkering? And we understood why we were tinkering on what was it? Our Sunday's game. I'm getting mixed up because they just finished playing this morning, right? They Nikolai Ehlers scoring an overtime winning goal, and the contributions that Pierre-Luc Dubois made and Nikolai Ehlers made. It was a complete team effort. And a lot of criticism being lobbied at Edmonton right now, calling them basically a two-trick pony with Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. But that's really not the case because they had a lot of contributions by some of their top guys. They just couldn't solve Connor Hellebuyck. And the Jets were just, at times, like even last night's game, the second period, it looked like the Jets needed their skate sharp and they were just getting outclassed by the Oilers. But Hellebuyck kept them in on the game. And you never gave up. You never saw a give up. You never saw a guy dogging it. And I tell you, when Kyle Connor took that pass from Neil Pionk in overtime, that bank pass off the boards, when he's coming in, you knew he was going to score. You just knew that was going to happen. And half the town, you could hear the celebrations. You could hear Budweiser red lights going off all over my neighborhood. And you could hear the other half, people waking up going, what happened? They're getting the text, hey, what happened? What happened? What happened? So a lot of people were like you, Rod, didn't watch it right to the end. Can't blame you. You had a big day today, first show back. But listen, that was just if you ever stayed up late to watch anything in your life, yesterday paid off in the third overtime period.
Yeah, for sure. But, so here's my thing on that. One, just on the goalies, Hellebuyck versus Mike Smith, mano a mano, Hellebuyck was better, if you want to talk about who really won the series. But here's my thing. I watched one overtime, and I'm like, yeah, I'll catch SportsCenter in the morning. I'm good. I'm not vested as much as you guys. However, I did want Winnipeg to win because we have a nice thing going on with Winnipeg that I expect is going to last forever. But every time McDavid got the puck, I was like, and I was exactly the same. I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't really care. So how did you feel every time McDavid got the puck?
Anytime there was an Oilers rush, you just knew. Like a lot of times when I was a young hockey fan, I thought 0-0 ties were boring. Absolute boring. And you saw the score. You saw the box score the next day. The Rangers beat the Bruins 1-0. And you're like, what a dull game. I got to tell you, as a vested fan or sitting in a rink, when the third period comes and both teams are at 0-0, that next goal is so important. Anytime your team touched the puck, that was that opportunity. And then multiply that in game 4 of a Stanley Cup playoff series when it's in your third overtime period where anything could happen. Absolutely anything can happen. It was like that. It was edge of the seat. You didn't want to get up to go to the bathroom because you might have missed something. No, I got to tell you, when the Jets were down 4-1 on Sunday night's game, yeah, I was checking the guide, looking for the littlest hobo or some other rerun I could watch, right? Because I didn't want to watch the rest of this game, but I stuck with it, and I was rewarded. So I wasn't going to look for the littlest hobo yesterday.
Well, I'll tell you something. I've discovered something. I didn't want to tweet it because I don't want my network friends to see it, but I'm watching Netflix in the intermissions. Works pretty good.
I have been known to do that. I'm rewatching Dexter on Crave.
There you go. Yeah, it works. Hey, lastly, David, before we let you go, because I want to answer some of these questions, but has the topic of the Maple Leafs come up yet in your town? Or are you still delirious from last night's sweep of the Oilers?
Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Clark pay a lot of attention to this, have to get by Montreal. So we'll be waiting there. The Toronto Maple Leafs, we actually look better in the regular season against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So it hasn't really come up. I think a lot of people that I know, a lot of people in my circle of friends are still sleeping, even though it is 12:15 in Winnipeg right now. But no, it hasn't come up yet. We're going to kind of bask in this playoff victory. We haven't beat the Edmonton Oilers. Like the last time, take you back to 1990 at Northlands Coliseum. When I was living in Edmonton, I got transferred out there with the job. So the Jets are leading the series 3-1, right? It comes back to Edmonton. I got my chest puffed out. I got my Jet jersey on. I strut into Northlands Coliseum. The Jets get blown out, and they get blown out in Game 7. The Oilers go on to win the Stanley Cup. So this particular playoff series against Edmonton had real meaning in the province of Manitoba. And one more thing. Remember a few years ago when I started to travel to Regina a lot on business, of course, the pandemic has shut that down. Every time I wandered around to a sports store in the mall, whether it be the Cornwall Center, whether it be any place, everything, all the jerseys were Edmonton Oilers jerseys. I remember texting you one day, aside from everybody in March wearing Saskatchewan Roughrider jerseys, I was wondering, why are the sports stores carrying so much Edmonton Oilers stuff? So I'm glad guys like you have converted, and I hope we've converted some people, some great people in the city of Regina to be Winnipeg Jets fans, that is.
Oh, yeah, no, you're good. No, huge. The Jets are taking over in this province. Believe me, they are. But it's been an Oilers province my whole life. And actually, those sporting goods stores now, they carry more Golden Knights stuff than anything. They really do. But, yeah. David, keep in touch. It looks like maybe the doors are opening a little bit, so hopefully we can get together soon. But it's always nice to see you, and let's chat through the playoffs here. Let's do it again.
Plan the parade.
Thank you. Follow him on Twitter at The Sports Doctor. Dave Patriquin joining us in the Manitoba capital. By the way, so I'm going to get to some of these text messages here and comments. From the 403, anonymous texter watching on Game Plus TV in Alberta says, I'm just glad Darren finally got a haircut.
How about that?
That was like a month ago.
It's been a while.
Maybe 2.
Your hair grows fast.
It does.
There's a lot of... From Frank in Toronto. God bless you. The doctors in Ontario will be crying. They run the province. No CFL in Ontario until after September 1st. Thanks, Frank. That's from Frank in Toronto. Not going down that road just yet, but Metal Shingle Guy writes in and he says, good on you, Mr. Moe. Play ball. Apparently, the premier of this province today, Scott Moe, announced that we can play outdoor sports just since we've been on the air here today. So I don't really know what the details are on that. Can we play against each other, or is it just practice?
No, I think he said sports back on as part of the phase 1, step 1 of the reopening plan. So we've hit all their targets on vaccinations for step 1, and he's included the outdoor sports in that.
Yeah, so we'll probably have university football and junior football.
That would... in this province.
For sure.
Yeah.
In this province.
Yeah.
Where's the dude from Sober Athletic Wear in Toronto? We asked how, real quick here because we're running out of time. Welcome back. What is your view on the effect John Tavares' injury will have on the Leafs-Habs series? Not a ton, obviously, because the Leafs have won since their captain's been out. I didn't like the fight. Stupid. I can't believe that Don Cherry defended it. Most guys have not. I was with Matthew Barnaby, obviously close friend of ours. He's like, what? Why is there a fight? This is just stupid. But they can win. They can beat Montreal without John Tavares. And he will be back. Was 2-week injury, right? Going back to last Thursday?
I think so.
So how do I think it'll affect them? They can survive the absence of John Tavares temporarily because it's going to be a deep run for the Leafs. So that's my take. But we have to break. Are we going to Vegas next, Clark? Okay. Andy McNeill joins us from VSiN's Las Vegas after this to talk some NHL odds. You're watching the RP Show across all 10 provinces and 31 states on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering delivery, and the takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. Family owned and operated. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com. Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Capital Ford Lincoln is your used car destination. We're overstocked and priced to move, so shop online or in-store to get the best deal on any one of our massive selection of pre-owned vehicles. Every pre-owned vehicle at Capital Ford must pass a thorough inspection, ensuring that your buying experience is quick, easy, worry-free, and just like new. So save the depreciation and buy pre-owned. Capital Ford Lincoln is your used car destination. 1201 Pasqua Street North in Regina.
Well, when I first started playing, the scholarship was so important to me. Like, I was working 2 jobs. I was working at a gas station, and I used to actually line the field for the team to get paid just to make some extra money.
I think for me, the opportunities that the scholarships provide is very important, or very specifically the stress it alleviates for myself.
The Rams give me the opportunity to buy everything that I need to get the best grades that I can, and that'll lead to me getting hopefully the best job that I can in the future.
There wasn't a scholarship opportunity with the Rams. I know that life would have been a lot more difficult for myself. I'm not too sure exactly how much longer I would have been able to play beyond my first year.
With the opportunity that they provided for me to go through school with the financial support and with the opportunity to continue to play football, now that I look back on it, was the most important thing in my life.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Oh yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
All right, welcome back to the RP Show, everybody. We're going to Vegas here in a second. We're just talking about this Shannon Sharp stuff. You're good. I thought, did something happen with Shannon Sharp this morning with regards to the Julio Jones stuff? It hasn't. Jack in Alberta is just talking about chatting with him in the Orlando airport. But I say Julio Jones did not know that he was on the phone with Shannon Sharp when he said he was wanted out of Atlanta on Fox Sports 1 yesterday. Darren says that he definitely knew and it was all choreographed. But I think I'm turning you. I'm turning you.
Little bit. So I'm reading the headlines. Fox Sports could face legal issues if Julio didn't know he was on TV.
Yes.
Did Julio Jones just get ambushed on national TV?
Yes.
So there's a lot of sides here.
Been there.
Yeah.
All right, we're talking Stanley Cup playoffs here today. By the way, there's 2 games tonight. Toronto at Montreal, Leafs up 2-1. Nashville at Carolina. That series is 2-2. Andy McNeill is with VSiN in Las Vegas. And if you watch the show, Follow the Numbers, which is on just ahead of ours on Game Plus every day. Andy's on there talking NHL odds quite a bit. And he's set up in his what looks like his man cave there. How you doing, Andy? Welcome to the RP Show.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. And hate to disappoint, but you're not seeing me in Edmonton or in Vegas. I'm in the Edmonton area, so
perfect.
Not as exciting.
It's the virtual world, right? It's the world that we live in, but you still do odds for VSiN, so it's all cool. Hey, Dubes had the question for me to give to you. Do you want to ask it?
No, go for it.
Okay. Did you guys have odds on the Jets sweeping the Oilers? You must have. How much did anybody win if they put some change down on that?
All right, so a good friend of mine, Rob Pizzola, actually bet the Jets to win in 4 games. And it led to a little bit of a discussion on Twitter this morning between Rob and myself and a couple of other people because he bragged about it, obviously, after winning it. It was a 25-1 or 24-1 bet, roughly a 4% implied probability. The Jets were obviously very lucky to win all 4 games in a row, and that was kind of where the conversation went. But you don't make those bets in hindsight. You make them with the hopes that there will be some luck on the side of the Jets, and that's what my friend did. So yes, there was somebody, at least one person, who made quite a bit of money on that prop.
Oh, this is awesome, by the way. And listen, Andy, you're going to come on the show. We're going to have fun. The Oilers fan says the Jets were lucky to win in 4. A series that went to 3 straight overtime. Every goal a 1-goal game, or so every game a 1-goal game. So are you a little? I see the Gretzky jersey over your shoulder, obviously. So you're an Oilers guy.
No, I've got all three greats there, or Gretzky and Lemieux. It's not anything to do with Edmonton. I have no affiliation or no, let's say, allegiance to the team. If anything, I'm a Bruins fan. But I don't think it's an argument, really. I mean, no matter who you are, you have to be lucky to win 4 straight games in the NHL playoffs. So to say, it's not. I don't think it's a surprise to say that a team is lucky. It's nothing. It's not slighting them in any way. It's just something that's not very likely to happen. And a bet that isn't likely to happen is obviously going to have a big payout, and that one certainly did.
I am absolutely just grinding you. Believe me, I am, and having fun with what. Well, look at what I'm wearing today. So, but let me ask you this: how much are the odds shifting as we move along here for a Stanley Cup favorite or series as we go? Because I was talking to a hockey guy the other day. He said Colorado Vegas is the Stanley Cup final. But it's not. It's going to be just a second-round series, right? Like, have they shifted since they've started? And if so, how have they shifted for a Stanley Cup winner?
Well, the Avalanche, their odds have obviously shifted. They're more favorable than they were before. In the big picture, I don't think they are great bets to make at this time of year. I think there are many other ways to make money. Or make good bets in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The futures board, as we would call it in the sports betting world, and when we're talking about Stanley Cup odds or things of that nature, they typically come with a high hold percentage for the sportsbook itself, and maybe don't offer as much value as some game or on a series. So for me, when I'm betting Stanley Cup teams, I'm trying to pick out teams throughout the season that are in lulls that I think can turn around. Like, for instance, the Boston Bruins earlier this year, my team, were being offered around 18-1 and 20-1 and prices like that. And I was able to scoop some pretty good prices on a Bruins team that when the playoffs rolled around were closer to 10-1 and 11-1, right? So, right now, I think that if people are looking to get involved in, as far as, a Stanley Cup winner, and you like a team, your best option is to attack them on a series by series basis. And actually, if you win a bet on a team to win a series, then you take your winnings and you roll that over onto the next series and bet on them to win again. And you'll find that you actually will profit more and come out ahead more oftentimes by doing things that way, rather than, let's say, betting on the Avalanche to win the Stanley Cup at 4-1 or 3-1 or something like that, because it's very, very short price that doesn't offer a big payout. So if you are looking at one of those contenders, there are better ways to go about it. I mean, the Vegas Golden Knights, if they do get past the Minnesota Wild, which I think they will about 80% of the time here, with, a chance to win, 2 chances to win, they'll be an underdog a lot in this series versus the Avalanche. So you're going to get a very good Vegas Golden Knights team at underdog prices. Possibly we see Max Pacioretty come back. So I think there's going to be some really good opportunities in this so-called Stanley Cup final, as people are saying, to make some money outside of, betting on a team to go all the way.
You, just so you know, you've drawn the ire of Winnipeg. Our viewers are writing in and saying, what? No luck involved. You get it right. But listen.
Well, you know what? Can I comment on that? The difference between me and anybody else that's coming on here is if I'm wrong, or if I'm doing this, in a way that's totally financial for me. Really, I could care less about the narratives and whatnot. I'm coming in and I'm trying to make good bets, and I actually bet on the Winnipeg Jets 2 times in the series. I didn't bet on the Edmonton Oilers. So, I mean, I'm not against the Jets whatsoever. It's just it's a plain fact that you can't win a series in 4 straight games without a little bit of help from Lady Luck.
Yeah, and speaking of that, by the way, so are you, Andy, setting the NHL odds for VSiN? Is that part of your daily?
Well, that's a great question. But the reason VSiN hired me or contracts me to come on here and talk about hockey on various networks and VSiN itself is because I'm doing this every day in general. 2 years ago, I wasn't on social media. I had no reason to be. They pulled me out of the shadows. I was here betting on sports, making odds every day. I treat my approach to sports betting as if I am an odds maker, and I feel that's the sharp way to go about things. And, they said, hey, they've got a guy here, or we've got a guy here that does this every day, regardless of whether or not we're paying him to do it or not. And so they decided to bring me on.
Chris Bird in Toronto says, great interview. Andy has just given me some new ways to lose money by betting on sports. LOL. Well, that's the fun part of it. But listen, I'm with you on the luck, but I go back and forth on this. Because there are those that say there's no such thing as luck. If you live your life the right way, you prepare the right way, you work hard enough, that you'll get a lot luckier, right? But you can't say, not you, but you can't say that there wasn't luck involved in Corey Perry kneeing John Tavares and they had bad luck, right?
Totally,
that was not,
and those are the things I'm talking about. It doesn't necessarily mean that, hey, they played bad and they got lucky and they won. It's just, sometimes there were times where that series could have shifted in overtime. You can't tell me that there weren't times where, something might have puckered up a little bit for Jets fans, during some of those overtime periods. And just in general, the luck factor, I mean, it's, I consider myself to be a pretty successful hockey bettor, and I am very well aware that I am lucky and that I could be on the other side of things if not for luck going my way a lot of the time. And your viewer or your texter is definitely right. Luck favors the prepared. But in a sport such as hockey, there's a lot more that goes into it than just being prepared or just, having everything, everything has to go your way. And oh man, if you can't see the luck on a game-to-game basis in the NHL, I would like to book your action.
No, I know, or in any sports. It's just I think you and I could go have a coffee and have a long talk about this. I don't like to leave my life to chance. I don't think coaches like to leave their luck. Does happen, right? But it's just you'd like to control it a little bit if you could, is all that I'm saying.
Totally, yeah, and I mean, when I say luck, I mean you get to overtime. At that point, a lot of it is determined by luck. It doesn't matter whether or not the two teams are going to maybe play a fairly even game, and if that's the case, at the end of the day, it's going to come down that little mistake. You can't say there's not a little luck. Would a player make that mistake over and over again? Would Connor McDavid turn that puck over, given another chance to do so in overtime, in triple overtime? Sorry. It's things like that. I try to temper my expectations and kind of bring myself back down, from some of these hype that you come to when you're a hockey fan. And I am a hockey fan, but when there's risk and uncertainty involved, I think it's imperative that you try to bring your expectations down a little bit, maybe climb back to reality.
That's why they call it betting. But I mean, you could lay a bet down on, is Ethan Bear going to fire a puck right up the middle in his own zone in a 3-2 game in the third? Like Ethan, and I love him. We've had him in here. But it's like, Ethan, what are you going to stop doing these things? Catlin Hogan's watching, says, as perhaps the only Wild fan on here, I hope they can crack your 80% odds on Vegas, says Catlin.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think the Knights have an 80% chance of winning the game here. But once again, I've been betting on Minnesota throughout this series, particularly when they're on the road in Vegas, because the prices are so much bigger. The odds were plus 165 for a point yesterday, and that would mean that if you bet $1 on the Wild to win the game, you would get $1.65 back in return for a win, plus your $1, so $2.65 for a total return. And they are plus 450, which implies less than a 20% chance. So I think they've actually got a better chance of actually winning the series than odds makers do. And I see a little bit of value in betting the Wild in this situation, but I think there's value in betting them on a game-to-game basis as well. And tomorrow they're a home underdog against this Vegas Golden Knights team that they piled a bunch of shots towards Cam Talbot yesterday, but not enough of them were right in front of the net in that high danger area where goals happen more often than not. And the door is open here for the Wild, a wild comeback, let's just say, but. I'll likely be betting on the Wild to win Game 6 and tie the series and force Game 7, and I will probably roll those potential winnings hopefully over onto a Wild victory in Game 7 as well.
Bite your tongue. Golden Knights fan here, despite the bunny hug today.
Okay.
How about that?
Would you bet let's say $1.75 to win $1 on the Vegas Golden Knights in Game 7, because that's the proposition that you're offered with, and I wouldn't do that. But I don't. It's not that I think the Vegas Golden Knights aren't the superior team. I do. I just believe that the Wild have really played them tough this season, and although it did kind of seem like Vegas figured them out recently, I think that this series is definitely more even than the odds imply.
The Wild won 5 of 8 in the regular season, as you know. You're the guy, so I'm not sitting here cocky or anything. But I don't bet on my teams either. I don't bet on my own teams. You get why. From Jennifer, she says
that's a great.
Yeah,
that's a great piece of advice.
Jennifer Illingworth, she says 3 overtime losses by the Oilers could be a completely different series if it went the other way. But that's where the Oilers are sitting today. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's just the way that it is. From Tacona Powley in Winnipeg says, unimpressed. I guess the Oilers or Isles were lucky winning 5 Stanley Cups. Well, 4 for the Islanders. Don't put any stock in that. Wayne Gretzky was lucky to have, Lemieux and Coffey and et cetera surrounding him. So, yeah. Hey, Andy, we're out of time. I'm going to let you go, but this has been awesome. Can we do it again through these Stanley Cup playoffs? We'll dive a little deeper into these topics, but I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I would love to fire the fine people of Saskatchewan up a little bit more.
Well, we're on national television on all 10 provinces and 31 states. So as you see, they're chiming in from all over today. So thank you, Andy. Appreciate it, my man.
All right, take it easy. Thank you.
Andy McNeill from VSiN's joining us, the Vegas Sports and Information Network. What are you laughing about over there, the whole thing?
So when he says, he's like, when it's in overtime and puckered up, right?
Yeah.
All I could think about was Al Pacino in 2 for the Money, shriveled up to the size of a decimal point. And I'm thinking of that.
Okay, viewer takeover the rest of the way, okay? And a sports update. It's the RP Show you're watching on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Capital Ford Lincoln is Truck Nation. Looking to buy your next truck or sell your current one? Capital is Canada's truck destination. Shop online or in-store to see the new 2021 Ford F-150, Ranger, Escape, and more. Right now is the best time to lease or finance a new vehicle. Can't find exactly what you're looking for? Let us help by sourcing your vehicle from our dealer network or custom ordering one that is perfect for you. Capital Ford Lincoln is Truck Nation, 1201 Pasqua Street North in Regina.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Laid back and kicking it. Let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
And the whole crew. Moose is here.
Howdy.
Clark, Ryan, and Jordan on the other side of the wall. I said it's going to be viewer takeover the rest of the way, and I'm true to my word. Georgi Yanitsos writes in, the Greek freak from the Four Seasons Sports Palace. And he says, great show, buddy. Glad to have customers back at the Palace. So jealous watching fans in the stands and can't wait for that to happen. Of course, I believe. And he says, Jen is one sad server today. She's an Oilers fan and she's a Packers fan.
Ooh.
Talk about getting it hit right in the feels.
Cruel and unusual punishment.
Wayne in Victoria on the Prairie Mobile text line at 306-840-8777 says, hi, Rod. I just wanted to say that I've been a fan of yours for years as a Rider fan, but I didn't know about your addiction problems. It is great what you're doing for others with addiction troubles. Thank you for that. Well, thank you, Wayne. Thank you for saying that. People don't normally say that. People don't normally go out of their way to say nice things, you know? So, yeah, I had the problems. They're over. And now I've dedicated my life to pulling people out of the fire. It's a great way to live. This is a good one. From the 416, Daryl in Toronto watching on Game Plus TV. Hey, Rod and the boys. Why did Kadri get a harsher penalty compared to Tom Wilson? Well, let's walk that back for a second. Headshot, targeted headshot, 6th suspension?
There's been a few.
Yeah, history. Honestly, don't tell Gregor this, and Jason Gregor from TSN Edmonton, but Tom Wilson didn't actually throw Artemi Panarin's head into the ice like a pile drive. That's what I saw, but after Gregor said they kind of wrestled to the ice, I couldn't unsee that afterwards. So what Tom Wilson did was not as egregious as what Kadri did.
Multiple suspensions. Yeah, I did see I seen people tweeting something to the effect of, with their explanation that they do, that the punishment gets stiffer with each subsequent suspension, unless you're Tom Wilson.
Oh, by the way,
speeding ticket.
You don't inject any logic into this. How George Peros and Colin Campbell, who knows why? I'm just saying this might be how they're seeing it. It was a more egregious thing, and he is worse of an offender than Tom Wilson, I think. Can we not agree on that?
Yeah.
I think that he is, even though Tom Wilson's bad too. From DG in Saskatoon, morning guys, the PGA was my biggest weekend takeaway. Sure, Mickelson winning was something, but wow, the Brooks Koepka-Bryson DeChambeau feud has gone to new levels. Watch the viral video of Koepka's interview that's out there. I've never seen anything like it. One athlete chirping another during an interview. A feud that's good for golf, in my opinion. I'll let you get excited about that. Like, I get that everybody on the tour hates DeChambeau. And I like watching golf as much as the next guy. But this is like NASCAR drama, crashing and fighting in the end circle. You know what I mean? Can we keep it between the lines, boys?
Sells tickets.
Just saying. Cool. Not my thing.
Yeah.
The Toronto Maple Leafs can take firm control of their playoff series against the Montreal Canadiens tonight. The Leafs are up 2-1 heading into Game 4 at Centre Bell. The Habs have scored just 1 goal in each of the past 2 games. Steven Matz will try to help the Blue Jays bounce back. The lefty gets the start as Toronto opens the series in New York against the Yankees. Jays have lost 6 in a row. It's just a swoon, right? It's just a fad. It's not a trend, don't you think?
I think so.
They're now 5.5 back at Tampa for the AL Eastern lead. The Japanese government says a U.S. warning for Americans to avoid traveling to Japan won't have an impact on Olympians wanting to compete in the postponed Tokyo Games. U.S. officials cited a surge in coronavirus cases in Japan caused by virus variants that may even be risky to vaccinated people. They didn't ban Americans from visiting Japan, but the warnings could affect insurance rates and whether Olympic athletes and other participants decide to join the games that open on July 23rd. And wide receiver Julio Jones says he's ready to leave the Atlanta Falcons. The 32-year-old star told Fox Sports 1's Undisputed host Shannon Sharp via telephone that, "I'm out of there." In a brief interview, Falcons general manager Terry Fontenot has been reportedly entertaining trade offers for Jones since last month. When asked where he wants to play, Jones replied, "Right now, I want to win." The sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis with the best team of writers across the Pacific Northwest and Western Canada. Visit today, dubnetwork.ca. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors, including the new almond mocha. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours today at g2gbars.ca. Clark, you tell me if you don't mind the second we can go to a break, and I will, and that'll give us more time for overtime. Yeah, they're telling me 2 more minutes. Well, here's the thing with the NFL, man. That's like waving, on this show, it's like waving a match over a tank of gasoline, right? Like,
yeah.
The second you bring this stuff up. Dean Tix is watching in Green Bay, and he says, Packers GM's done an above-average job in getting talent, but this passive-aggressive pettiness by Rodgers is old. Okay, we'll get into that. Jack in Alberta says this to my friend Rod. There is something magical about watching a man who has lost himself find his way back home. Great heart work, Rod. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of your support, and you're doing the same stuff, so you know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Do you want to take a stab at this from Catlin, Hogan, Rod, and Dupes? What's your take on the Jays' bullpen issues on this losing streak?
It's a concern.
Well, yeah.
It's a concern. Absolutely. There needs to be ironclad. You know, you got hitting, and you can't be giving up 2-run leads in the 9th. That just can't happen. But I would say it's a blip. I don't say it's... We often just jump to when there's a problem, got to change the pieces. Got to change the pieces. No, you got to work harder. You got to practice harder. You got to be better. The talent's there. The talent's there with the Jays. You just got to be better.
That's why I asked him in the sports update, is this a trend or is it a fad? I believe it's a fad.
That's right.
They're playing their 162 games. These things are going to happen, and they were playing the best team in the division, maybe in the majors. They've won 11 in a row. I'm not as concerned as everybody else, but we also knew the pitching was going to be a problem, whether it be at the front end or the back end. And there's still time to make acquisitions if they feel they need them.
Right. It was just a week ago they were a half game out of the first place. And now they're 5 games out. So it happens quick.
We're going to break and come back with a full-on viewer takeover, and they want to talk about McDavid cussing out his teammates last night. We're going to end this the way we started it. Remember?
Yes.
You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds full-service car wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-5555. 2090.
When you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
And the gang, and we're into overtime here. And it's the family of squirrels on meth, right? It's the first day back from a long weekend, so we're trying to keep stuff locked down here. Darren's reminding me of things that I said that I promised I would talk about. From EGA watching on YouTube says, seen Connor McDavid cussing out his teammates and making faces on the bench, but it was he who nonchalantly coughed up the puck entering the offensive zone that led to the Jets' winning goal. We can't do everything. McDavid was on the ice the whole time. But I get what you're saying. Jennifer Illingworth says Connor should have done that in Game 3 when we were up after the Jets scored their second goal. This is what worries me for the Edmonton Oilers. Finger pointing here, there, everywhere. We'll go way back to the warm-up where I said, with Mike Smith gunning his defenseman during the regular season in games, just stop the puck, Mike. They got a lot of problems in Edmonton, and it ain't Connor McDavid. By the way, let's update the poll question, by the way, which we stole from Arash Madani. The Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center poll question is, who asks for a trade first? Connor McDavid, Carey Price, or neither? I voted for neither. You did too?
Yeah.
55% on Twitter saying neither, and 53% on Facebook saying they're hockey guys. They just don't do that.
Let's remember something, right? When you think about Connor McDavid, 24, he's still young. 24 is young. But he's now played 6 seasons in Edmonton. He's getting really close to the halfway point of his career. Like, he's going to be almost on the back half now. If he stays healthy, probably has a 20-year career, especially with how good he is if he stays healthy. So then he's closer to the quarter mark than the half mark. But 14, 15 years is long, right? 16 years for a career in the NHL. 6 years, like, he's only played 20 playoff games. So you start wondering, like...
And that's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and pick at a wound. Like Rick Hagland says McDavid wanted to win a lot more than a few of his teammates. That's got to be frustrating. Look, I was saying it earlier in the year. Hashtag free McDavid and these kinds of things. And did you see those Oiler fans jump down my throat?
Of course.
I said, do we trust the Oilers goaltending? Did you see Oiler fans jump down my throat? Today's not the day to say, told you so.
No.
But we're going to bring on, hopefully, Jason Gregor on Thursday from TSN Edmonton or somebody from Edmonton to talk about where the Oilers go from here. Because it's what he's just saying. Connor McDavid seeing his career wasted. It's a fact. And I don't know what it is to put the finger on. I was talking to my brother the other day. We agree. If Dave Tippett can't get this figured out, nobody can. Nobody can. Would you not agree with that?
It's not a coaching issue.
No.
It's not a coach. I see the culture issue because when I look at the Oilers, I just struggle to say, what's their identity? And the identity is Connor and Leon, and that's it. But there's no cultural identity. You know, it's hardworking team or fun team to watch or consistency through the team. There's no identity there. It's kind of, you know, you go over to your aunt's house and there's 2 chairs she's bought on sale and 2 chairs that don't match, and you know the other room doesn't flow with the house, and yeah, you got some really nice stuff in there and some really good pieces, but they don't have an identity. I like Mike Smith, great competitor, and he played well, really well, had a great season, but there's no identity. The culture needs to change.
Boom. And that's hard to do.
Yeah.
They've been trying. But they're not a team, and I could go on about this forever, especially when you guys want to talk goalies. Jeff Cabillas in Winnipeg says, one thing's for sure, Smith handles the puck outside the net better than Hella. Yeah, but who cares? Again, go back and watch the warm-up. You have one job. Stop the puck. If you want to go play the puck, go ahead, but that's not what we're paying you to do. Stop the puck. Connor Hellebuck stops the puck better than Mike Smith. You can just see Mike Smith's always looking and wondering, well, you know, how can he get out of the net and play the puck? Why? There's confusion there with his defenseman. Connor Hellebuck doesn't do it. Who's still playing and who isn't? Why am I getting wound up about this?
How about that?
Brady in Saskatoon. Hey, Rod, welcome back. Those Oilers are a train wreck. I predicted the Jets win. Definitely didn't have them winning in 4. Mike Smith has now 9 straight playoff games, lost 9 straight games. Hoping we get to see a more energized Habs team come out tonight wanting to win. Price standing on his head. Leafs getting away with head-to-head contact and running our players. It's all good, though. They're from Toronto, after all. Stop it. The guy, Dean in Green Bay, wanted to talk about Aaron Rodgers. And I said, it's in my Twitter story, if you go back and watch, that I'm swinging over to Aaron Rodgers' side because he explained himself way better on ESPN last night with Kenny Mayne. And he just said, I'm being treated like a number here. And I said in the warm-up, it hit me in the feels because I know how it feels to be treated like a number. Not by you guys, obviously. I just came out of a week-long course. Being treated like an object where you're told what to feel, what to think, and what's best for you, or treated like a resource. I just came out of a week-long training about all that stuff. Aaron Rodgers isn't treated like a resource. He's treated like an object. And he doesn't feel part of what they're doing in Green Bay. And he explained it really well to Kenny Mayne, and that's my thing is I get it now. That's all. But people are still going to think he's a prima donna and still. I did a month ago. Are you coming around on that at all?
I am a little bit. For sure. I think, you know, they need Aaron Rodgers to win. Without Aaron Rodgers, the Packers are not a Super Bowl contender. They're not. With Aaron Rodgers, they might be a Super Bowl favorite coming into the season. So it completely changes everything. You just brought back the running back Jones, right? You just brought him back. You just brought some other pieces in because you're ready to win again. That the window is here. With Aaron Rodgers gone, it is slammed shut.
We don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but we're starting to hear a little more.
Yeah.
And that's why he's starting to win the PR battle. John in Winnipeg says, I think that a goalie that can play the puck is an asset, not a deterrent in the speed and skill of the NHL. How about that? Hey, John, I'll say it again. Who's still playing and who isn't? And you're a Jets fan. From EGAs is agreed as Captain McDavid was losing his composure. But can you blame him? Can you blame him? I think we're carrying that over to tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have the screen froze on me here, so I don't know who we got tomorrow. Oh, JT O'Sullivan and Theo Fleury, couple of my boys.
All right.
We'll see you tomorrow, noon Eastern, right here on Game Plus TV. Who has more fun than us?